have to say that I really loved watching the two of you on screen together. Your chemistry was just fantastic.
Thank you.
In Cavemen, you play two good friends who eventually discover that they're in love. So I was wondering, is that like an ideal moment when, you know, two great friends, two best friends who love each other that they never knew all these times?
I think it can be ideal or it can be a disaster. It's one or the other. There's no middle ground with that, I don't think, because of the history, because of the emotions invested, the time invested in that relationship for what it was for so long. You never know.
You never know. How about you?
I completely agree. I think it's a risk, and I think that it could have a beautiful reward. You can be with the love of your life, but God forbid it doesn't work out. I mean, it's hard to go back to being friends once you've crossed that line. So I don't know. I admire it. I appreciate people that go for it.
The film can be really cynical about dating, especially in LA nowadays. But it also has a hopeful side to it. How would you describe the dating scene in Cavemen?
I think it's unique to itself. I mean, like, do you mean Dean's perspective?
And his friends as well.
I think it's a bit of a struggle. I think they all view it differently, which makes for a really dynamic, like, ensemble. I love that Chad is a bit more cynical and a little bit more jaded, and I'm a little bit more hopeful and dignified in my approach. And I think that's you're going to run into that, and it's really hard to find a match just anywhere, not just in LA. And there's so many things that could be going well, and there's so many deal breakers. There's so many things that you can't know until 3 to 6 months down, a year, 2 years down the line, that you could be like, wow, inherently we are not meant for each other. And that's what dating is. I mean, it's a crazy thing that we do, but the positive side is that you could potentially find someone you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Good to know. How about you, Camilla?
I think it was fun watching them play their characters, but also watching the film at the end of the day. It's true, all of them represent a different side of dating, different viewpoint on dating. They all have their own tricks. They all have their own lines. They all have their own views on how jaded or how much they do enjoy the dating game, I think. But it was fun. I mean, I see with my guy friends too, they all have a different outlook on it. Some of them are single, some of them have been in relationships for years, and they all see it very different ways. So I think it's nice for the audience as well. It's not just one viewpoint, it's a handful. So you can kind of identify with someone in there.
And when you mentioned that you have some guy friends, I mean, I'm just curious, coming from a woman's perspective, do you believe that a man and a woman can be best friends without any sort of emotional involved or sexually attracted to each other?
I mean, I've had quite a few guy friends my whole life. I've always gotten along really well with guys, and there's just no drama. It's your friends. I think ultimately there probably always will be one person that likes the other one a little bit more, but hopefully you respect the friendship and you just keep it at that. And sometimes you can't help it and you have to express yourselves. And I've had that happen, but we were able to talk about it, and we're still best friends till today. You know, so I think it depends on the way you handle that situation. I think in Cavemen, I think Tess has always liked Dean a little bit the whole time. I think you kind of see that. But she also values their friendship and values him as a person and would rather have him in her life no matter what than to fully put herself out there.
Right. How about you? Do you believe a guy and a girl can be best friends?
Sure, yeah. I absolutely believe it. But I do think that it gets really... I can't remember this memory for some reason is so vague right now, but I feel like it was a friend of mine recently was telling me, a girl was telling me that her best friend got drunk and just laid it all out and just confessed everything. And while it was happening, this girl was just thinking like, please you don't know what you're doing. Like you are making you know what I mean? And it's tough because if it's not mutual, God forbid, it feels deceiving in a weird way. It feels like I don't know, it doesn't feel safe. Like this friendship, this mutual thing, all of a sudden a line has been crossed and it could be scary.
Right.
So hopefully if you're willing to go there and break that, you know, like just kind of cross that line, make sure it's mutual first, because it could end a friendship, unfortunately.
Which can be really scary.
Yeah.
So what's next for you both?
I have Pitch Perfect 2 coming out.
Nice.
Well, not coming out. We haven't even filmed it yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like,
It's coming out next month.
Yeah, it's coming out in 2015.
Next year. Okay.
Yeah,
All
next
right.
year,
Okay.
next May.
All right.
I think hopefully Ground Floor season 2.
Okay.
And a movie called Flock of Dudes.
Wow. Busy,
Yeah.
busy.
Oh, and Glee. I'm on Glee.
Oh, when?
Yeah. March.
March what?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
But it's the Nationals episode.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll DVR the entire March and I'll watch it on
Yeah,
Glee.
perfect.
How about you?
A film I shot in Argentina last year called Amapola, which is coming out, and another film called The American Side, another film I shot in Mexico before that. They're all coming out this year at some point, but I don't know when. So
Oh.
we'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for talking to us.
Thank you very much.